So I gave it notes. It sounds like it's my technology. I'm just a guide who's a step or two ahead of others. And as you can see, probably like most people, I realize the AI is good enough to correct my spelling error. So I don't bother to correct. You can see typos in my prompts there. So it did it again, but it still used my video clone technology. And I don't know anything about technology. I'm just aggressive at looking for the best technology to allow my clone, to allow me to create a completely interactive video clone. So I kind of stressed that. But then I thought that it lost something because in my initial copy, I had quotes from people saying, this is freaking amazing. And because they literally said that when I was watching the video of people in my clone and they saw me speaking Arabic at one point, they turned to a friend and said, this is freaking amazing. So I'm pulling from that. I put that in my initial draft and it was kind of written out of it in the Chat GPT. So I asked it to rewrite that. So I said, put in some of my original language. And I want people to really get a sense that this is a new type of communication. So it did a final version. I used the final version. I still didn't really like the title. So I used the final version it gave me. And let me just pull up a moment the title that I actually used. And you might be appalled at the title because I didn't test it or anything else. But let me just pull up the title here. I just sent it. It should be in my trash because I already deleted it. Okay, so let me I'll go into my clone. And I realize this, I've thrown a lot at you, and we didn't discuss this in advance that I was going to ask you to do this. By the way, if you're just joining us, I'm TJ Walker. This is the TJ Walker Success Show. Our special guest today is David Deutsch, who is a well-known copywriter. He has worked with top agencies. He's worked with American Express, General Foods, Merrill Lynch, Procter & Gamble. He's learned from the likes of David Ogilvy. We're very happy he's here today. And I'm getting his feedback in a sort of a real world case study on how people can use artificial intelligence to do copywriting. And I'm going to ask him, where did I go wrong? Where did I go right? How would someone really use this in the best possible way? And so I want to tell you, okay, so here's the title I used. I changed this at the last minute. And I put the headline to be, appeared to speak in nearly any language instantly, question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation point. That's maybe too cheesy, or maybe that might even set off spam filters. I don't know. Anyway, so that is my interpretation of how someone like me, a small business owner, a content creator, a subject matter expert who does have to promote things, whether it's books, online courses, workshops, should use AI for copywriting. I came up with the first concept. I didn't just ask it to do everything. I came up with a concept. I had it do drafts. I tweaked it. I didn't just take everything it said at first blush. And by the way, I have to confess, I have done that before.
Right.
Nothing that's caused a disaster for me or hurt me. But this one I wanted to get right because, frankly, I do find it very exciting. And if we have time or it's relevant, I'll show you the clone speaking in different languages later today. I wanted to get it right. So that's my concept of start with a concept, go back and forth with some program, whether it's Chat GPT, and then come up with yourself. Now, tell me, what would you have done if I had just come to you and hired you, or if I had gone to speakingofwriting.com and gone through one of your workshops or seminars or courses? How would you have taught me to do this differently?
Well, I think basically there's a step that we're kind of missing, both a copywriting step and an AI step. And, that is to really be clear on who the prospect is and what we want the prospect to do, right? I'm a little unclear even on who the prospect is and what we want the prospect to do. I think it's people that are kind of in your world already, and you want them.
So this was a mailing, an email mailing, going to people who have already registered to use my digital clone, my interactive digital clone. They might have interacted just with a video, maybe
Right.
just the audio, maybe
And
text.
that
But at some
means
point, they came in either from a newsletter of mine,
Mhm.
or they were a student in one of my online communication skills or personal development courses.
Right. Okay. And these are all things that the AI should know, because it's helpful for the AI to know where these people came from and who they are. And
And I didn't say that.
yeah.
I could have given it more briefing, more background.
And you want them to do what? Like what, to take what action after they get this email?
I wanted them to click on it and try it in a different language, even if they don't speak that language. I want them to see me, someone they've only ever seen speak in English, because I'm a dummy and I only speak English,
Right.
speaking fluently in another language. And if they happen to speak another language, to have them like, oh boy.
Right.
I mean, it happened just the other day. My daughter had a friend over who's fluent in Hungarian. And I said, hey, Sophia, did you know I was fluent in Hungarian? And I put my clone on and talked
Right.
to her. And she went, oh, she kind of laughed. She did say, oh, this was speaking a little quickly, but it was
Yeah.
still something that caused amazement. And I thought, it's not that often in my industry, public speaking training, communication skills training, where you can really get people's jaws to drop and say, whoa, wow, that's amazing, because people feel like they've seen it all before. And this is genuinely new. So that's what I was trying to hit on that.
Yeah. You know, that was good copy that you wrote just then. That idea of there's so few things that are jaw dropping today. And this is because what I'm missing here is, why should someone go do this aside from that you would like them to, right? Like, what are the reasons? Okay. One reason is that it's amazing and it could make your jaw drop, right? Another reason might be you should be familiar with this technology because you may want to use it sometime. So if you see me doing it, another reason might be maybe it is a language that you speak or that you'd like to speak. And it would be interesting or even useful to hear me speaking. Maybe you know people. Maybe they want to send it to people. Maybe you want them to send it to people that speak a language, another language. Oh, my friend speaks Hungarian. I'm going to send, TJ speaking in Hungarian to them. That'll be so cool, because they're also in communication or whatever. So AI is really good when it has like a lot of information, right? Like, and the loop is kind of also, AI can also help you figure out what are the reasons. See, that's kind of the missing step, right? Step one is kind of, AI, help me find the avatar for this. Who is this going to exactly? Paint a picture of it, right? So now you kind of know in your head what the picture is, right? But now AI has the picture, which you can then, of course, copy and paste and use every time you want to write something to this market.
Yeah. I mean, clearly I left some things out. I should have briefed the AI more on the background of the user, more reasons of why they want to do it. That does bring up, I find, a perennial question when it comes to copywriting: more versus less, long versus short.